Hey guys,
Hi, we are Jada and Shimmy, and featuring
Ryan.
Hi Ryan,
Hi Jada.
outsider.
Huh.
Anyway, today, guys, we're going to be doing a very first. Maybe it's not the first, but this is. I haven't seen anything like it on the internet yet. We're doing our very first Baha'i
Tag.
tag. So basically, we have a few Baha'i questions here that are about our religion, which is obviously, as you guys already know by now, the Baha'i Faith. And let's just get right into it without wasting any much more time.
If you need more information about the Baha'i Faith, just take down the link. There's also a link of the Baha'i Faith. You can read more on the website.
All right, so here we go. Question number 1. Describe the Baha'i Faith in one sentence. So we'll start over here.
No, we start this. we
Okay,
start with the
start
guest.
over
We
here.
start with the guest.
Yeah.
That's
Let's be
very
polite.
hospitable. For
So-
me, my sentence would be it's all about unity.
Oneness of religion.
Right. I would say that in one word, I would just say that it is the religion of God for today. Yeah. Question 2. When did you become Baha'i?
I was technically born into a Baha'i family. My parents both became Baha'i before I was born. However, life being what it is, I kind of, drifted around a bit. But I would say at the time when I fully became an aware and active Baha'i would be when I was 26, so a few years ago. I'm 29 now.
Shimi?
I became a Baha'i in 2009.
So you've been Baha'i for like 8 years.
Seven,
7
8.
years.
Yeah, 8.
8.
Okay.
Wow, 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna have a 10-year party in 2 years. Woo.
No, 10 years. No, 9.
Oh yeah, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9-year party.
That's next year.
The Baha'is have a big thing about the number 9 because Baha equals 9 in the Arabic. Yeah, it's cool.
Anyway.
You can still read that down on the link. There's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot. Like, yeah.
Like Ryan, I was born in a Baha'i family, but I would say I truly became Baha'i, I think, at the age of 15, because that's when I became very active and I took the faith as my own, not just something that I was doing because of my family or anything. Yeah. Question number 3. Why are you Baha'i, Ryan?
I'm a Baha'i because ever since I was a kid, I always loved this concept of unity, this concept that everyone in the world, regardless of race, gender, anything, whatever these barriers that we make that separate us or pretend to separate us, regardless of that we're all in it together in this life. And that's the major concept of the Baha'i Faith. And I love the teachings of Baha'u'llah, and I love being of service to the world.
Baha'i.
Oh, the reason why I'm Baha'i is that I fell in love with the teachings of Baha'u'llah. And when I heard that Baha'u'llah is the return of Christ, I've been waiting for Christ before, so when I realized that he came back, so yeah.
I think I'm Baha'i because, like I said earlier, like the teachings of the Baha'i faith are really relevant for our time right now. And not to say that all the religions are outdated or anything, but just I feel that they're just more specific to this time, and hence they act as a stronger kind of fortress for us. Question 4. What is your favorite thing about being Baha'i?
My absolute favorite thing about being Baha'i is that anywhere I go in the world, literally anywhere except like maybe North Korea, I guess, there's always Baha'is who are like family, even if I've just met them. It's like meeting a long lost brother or uncle or sister or nephew.
Shimi?
My favorite thing about being Baha'i is that he just told what I was about to say.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. I guess I can't think of anything else either.
A second
It's true. Like
favorite
you're just always gonna find your people, man.
If y'all don't have another answer, can I give another one?
Okay.
It's just real quick. I really like that it gives me the kind of awareness that this world is that living in this world is about more than just myself. Ever since I realized that, it's life is so much more pleasing to me knowing I can help others and it's the way it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
I think for me, I would say is that I'm at least exposed to the message of today. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people are not really exposed to that, and I'm glad. I have that. So.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I think another thing is it really gives you a different kind of a different lens to look out into the world with, because you see everything and everyone as one, whether black or white or woman or man, like all these prejudices and just things that exist just are not there when you're Baha'i, I think.
I would say the fact of like when you're Baha'i, you get to know that all the religion are the same. So you don't have that thing of saying he's Christian. No, they don't believe in that. Like God is just one.
Yeah.
Like not all the religion believe in that because they all have like a part where they end. Like they don't believe what is after them, and like we're more like exposed to most of the world religion. That. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
Question number 5. What is the hardest thing about being Baha'i?
Oh man, when I was younger, it was a lot of things. There are some laws that I didn't understand and I didn't really like, but now at my age of maturity, I think it's really just like having to work even when I'm tired. Like I do children's classes and I do junior youth groups, and sometimes I'm just tired. But it's not to say I don't love it, but it's definitely not something you can just like give up on. It takes commitment, and that's hard. It's worth it, but it's hard.
Like, the kind of people we're expected by the laws to live up to is really not easy, especially in this world that is so liberal today and people just have the freedom to do whatever they want. It's very difficult because sometimes, especially when you're younger, you don't understand that you just feel like you're being restricted and you don't
Yeah.
understand that you're being protected
Yeah,
from
that's so
a lot
true.
of things. So it's
Protected,
really
not restricted.
when you don't realize yet that you're being protected, you feel like you're being restricted, and I think that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
for me, I would say it's just the hardest thing being a Baha'i is that you know we can't be like isolated. You just have to stick out like just with Baha'i. We have to be like our clear message is that we have to live in unity. So we hang around with different people. So you don't expect the same standards to be with everybody. But then it becomes a bit hard when you just stick out with just anybody. Like what they do is not what you really do, and they expect you to do what they do just because everybody believes that for them is alright. Becomes a bit hard.
Just to add on is the fact that we have to live in unity with other people. People are very different, and you don't always mix with everyone. So
Yeah.
it gets really hard to just keep your cool when people be testing you.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay.
That is true.
Question
Even other
number.
Baha'is. Sorry.
Yeah, even other Baha'is.
Especially.
Especially other Baha'is. Number 6. Who is a person in the Baha'i history that inspired you the most, and why?
That's easy for me. Like my whole life, there's a character in the history of the faith named Mullah Hussein who's known as the Babu Bab, which means the gate of the gate, and he was the one who went out and found the Bab, and the Bab he was the one that the Bab first revealed his mission to, and his whole life is a story of heroic self-sacrifice and commitment to serving God, and that's the example I aim to follow, however inadequately.
You?
For me, I'm not sure. Not to be feminist or anything, but there are a number of very powerful women that I really admire and look up to in the Baha'i history. For example, Bahi Khanum, who was the sister of Abdul Baha. I feel like she was very strong in her faith, and even when her father, who is Baha'u'llah, and Abdul Baha, who was like the center of the covenant at that time, passed away, she is the one who kind of held the family together, after
Not just the family, but the faith.
The family
whole
and the
community.
faith, and she raised Shogi Effendi also. Like, I mean, she had a hand in raising Shogi Effendi, who finally took over after Abdul Baha died. So I feel like she just kind of glued this family that could have easily fallen apart, if she wasn't there. Yeah.
For me, I would say it's Anis because he got executed with the Bab, his master. For me, it's more had to do with like loyalty. Like he knew, like he was, yeah.
And the faith that he
Yeah,
knew,
like, yeah.
that level of certitude that he had to have made that sacrifice so willingly
end
and
his
joyfully.
life in front of this huge crowd of people. He just decided he was gonna accept 750 rifles, bullets in his chest for the faith. I think
For the love of the Bab.
For the love of
yeah. Number 7. What is an event in the Baha'i history that most touches your heart?
For me, there's an event known as the Seven Martyrs of Tehran, and it was where these 7 Babis had been captured, imprisoned, and then eventually executed. And the story of that is so amazing because the way that they were led to their deaths one by one, taken from their jail cell to this courtyard where they were basically like beheaded by sword. And as each one was taken out, after the first one was there killed, and the next one came out and he saw his friend there dead, and the only thing he said was, oh, how lucky to have been the first to offer blood. If only I was like that. Please take my life now so that I can join my friend. And it was, when I first read it, it was really, I couldn't even, I had to stop. It was very touching, and I've always remembered that that's the level of sacrifice that I should have. Not that I should throw away my life, but that I should dedicate my life for what they died for. And many others.
There's lots of touching stories, lots. But Shimi, go first. I still need to.
Yeah, one of the
That
historical events that happened in the Baha'i Faith, for me, one of them was when Baha'u'llah's son died. What's his name?
Mirza
Mirza
Mehdi.
Mehdi.
Okay, like when he fell from the rooftop of the barrack. Yeah, that's like one of the something like that. Yeah. He asked if he wants to be saved. Then he said like
That he would rather
he would rather die for the
faith, so that
because there was
that
like there's
Baha'u'llah
people that
could be
used
freed from that prison,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Isn't that how it goes?
because people used to come from like
Far away.
They were
places.
not
They would
allowed
walk for months,
inside.
and then they could go, and all they would see is the wave of Baha'u'llah's hand.
Imagine traveling like maybe for a month just to get somewhere, and the only thing you get to see is just somebody's hands waving from the window.
with the white handkerchief.
And then they would just pack up and go back home after that.
travel back like 3 months of winter after
Yeah.
just seeing that, like.
It's
Yeah.
it's amazing.
But then, so Shimi's story was that when he was asked whether he wanted his life to be saved, he decided that he would rather die and have his life be sacrificed, so that the doors of the prison would be opened and those people that traveled so far away would be allowed to come in and see Baha'u'llah and his family instead of just seeing them from like very far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, one of the stories that touches my heart kind of springs from that. Since Baha'u'llah and his family were imprisoned in Akka, which was actually known as the most great prison, and people would like come from so far away and not see them. But then, so there was this one man who had traveled from, I don't know where, from very far. He had been traveling for like 3 months in winter, and he got there, and he was old and he had terrible eyesight, so he wasn't even able to see clearly. He was told, okay, you see over there, that's Baha'u'llah's window, just look there and he'll be there soon. And he was looking, and his eyesight was so bad that all he saw was like a white thing, small white thing waving, and like for him that was it, like that was enough. And he turned around and went back home, traveled 3 months back home. Question number 8. What is your favorite Baha'i quote?
My favorite Baha'i quote is from the words of Baha'u'llah, and it says, "The earth is one country and mankind its citizens."
Okay.
So that there's no barriers between us. That we're all members of one human family. You know.
Shimi?
No, you go first.
Okay. One of my favorite Baha'i quotes is, I think it's, "O Son of Man, I loved thy creation, hence I created thee. Wherefore do thou love me, that I may name thy name and fill thy soul with the spirit of life." So in short, God is talking to us and telling us that He created us not for anything except that He loves us. He created us because He loves us. And so in return, what we should do in this world is just to name His name. So to mention His name, to tell people about Him, so that He may also fill our souls with like spiritual life, is how I understand it.
Okay, mine is close to that. That says, "Love me that I may love me. If thou lovest me not, my love can in no wise reach thee. Know this, O servant."
That if we don't make the effort to love Him, His love can't reach us. Even though He loves us, we can't like feel it or be aware of it if we don't make the effort to love Him. Yeah,
Yep.
they're very similar, but they're very good.
Number 9. What would your life be like if you were not Baha'i? Ryan.
Man, who knows?
Yeah,
But
that's
not.
hard.
I think for me, not happy. Not to say like all Baha'is are unhappy or whatever, but where I was before I really, gained certitude in my faith, and I was not living a happy life. I was living a pointless, selfish, shallow existence, and I can't even begin to say how much more joyful and wonderful my life is after recognizing the true station of Baha'u'llah and committing my life to His service.
If
Hot. Oh, you wanna go first, ladies first?
Y'all got confused on who goes
I
when.
know. Okay, if I was a Baha'i, I don't even know. I just think I would be a very stuck up person and very self centered because I don't know. I think it's just human nature that people are generally focused on themselves and not other people. So I think that's kind of the kind of person I would be. And I think I would be very lost. Like, I wouldn't know what the purpose of my life is, like why I was created and why I'm here. So I would just be, like Ryan said, just living a pointless.
Not sure,
Oh.
Like I would have been anywhere else, and maybe I don't know what I would have been, and I just don't want to think about it. It's just
Yeah,
It makes you
I don't want to
sad.
think about it. That's so true.
just
Anyway.
don't want to think about it. Anyway,
So that was the last question.
so yeah, that was the last question. So
Thank you guys for watching.
anyway, anybody else that wants to do the same thing can actually do it. Like we have the
Yeah.
questions down in the comment section. You can just do the same thing. Whatever you do, please just take us into your
We would like to watch other
yeah.
people.
We
Yeah,
would
if
love
you
to
do
see
it,
Baha'i
like,
Tag.
Give us a hit. We want to see.
And if anyone has any more questions about the Baha'i Faith, please, the link is in our description and we're going to put it down also in the comment section. Thank you for watching and
Bye.
Bye.